Yo, what is happening, guys, and welcome back to the Let's Talk Fighting Challenge. You can tell by title and the thumbnail today. We will be talking about Jake Paul's next boxing opponent, which is being revealed recently, and it is Ryan Borland, nickname Rhino, age 35, record 17-2, 6 knockouts. Now, a lot of y'all are like me, saying, "Who the hell is this guy?" We don't know. It's another very small name, kind of like Andre August. But I know what Jake's doing. Jake said in the press conference, you know, I know what Jake's doing. We all know. He's making it very clear. Jake said, okay, I've had my big pay-per-view fights. I've had my big fights where everybody's tuned in, watch. I've got the knockouts. I've beat MMA guys. I've beat YouTubers. I've beat an athlete and Nate Robinson, all this and that. Then he decided, you know what, I want to become a world champion. So Jake set out that his goal is to become a world champion now. So he said he's going to be doing fighting smaller names with more experience that are actually pro boxers. Now, obviously, this decision, the guy he's facing, is very yes and no. There's a lot of people for it, a lot of people against it. People are for it. They're like, he's fighting a pro. He may have a small name, but he's fighting a pro who has a better record, has one more knockout than Jake, and all this and that. There's obviously going to be the people who turn around saying, we don't know this guy, he's another bum. But at the same time, I've said it countless times, people are expecting Jake to fight the likes of Canelo. You know, Jake is a low-level boxer. That's how it is. In YouTube boxing, he's the tippity top. In pro boxing, he's mid. He's not a world champion. No one thinks he is. And everybody wants to say about Jake and say, you know, all this and that. Oh, if you want to be a world champion, be Canelo. No, he's trying to take the traditional boxing route. Your favorite boxer fought someone like this when they were coming up. That's how to do it. So Jake's doing it the right way. He's fighting people who don't have the biggest name, who have a better record than him, more experience. But he's also given himself an advantage with who he picks. But I don't have an issue with that person. Talking about the advantage, going over Ryan Borland's resume, he's also won Golden Gloves. He's also a national junior Olympian. He's a two-time GBO light heavyweight champion. His last fight was September 2022, so he hasn't fought in a while, and he's won 10 of his last 11 fights, 2 of which has been in the last 6 years. So Jake Paul obviously picked this guy. He's a former Golden Gloves champion, like Andre August. He's a GBO light heavyweight champion. He's a former junior Olympian. So a lot of people are obviously going to hear this and they're going to be like, okay, he has some accolades. Yes, Andre August, he was Golden Gloves champion. And yes, he got knocked out by Jake Paul. But Jake's picking them correctly. Jake's picking them with these accolades. But he's having his own twist on it. For example, I named those accolades. But the 2 that stick out, the few that I say, 10 of 11. He's won 10 of 11 of his last fights. But 2 stick out. The fact that he's had 2 fights in the last 6 years. The fact he's had 2 fights in the last 6 years. And 17-2 with 6 knockouts. 6 knockouts, that's one more than Jake. Jake has 5 knockouts and he's been inactive. So Jake has obviously playing chess here. He's moving it correctly. A lot of people are saying, oh, but this guy hasn't been active for 6 years. He's only fought 2 in the past 6 years. And that's correct. That's why Jake picked him. Jake decided, you know what, you have the experience with me. You fought 17 times, won 2 times and lost. You fought 19 times. I believe Jake has a record of 8 wins, 0 losses, 1 loss and 0 draws. I believe Jake has fought 9 fights. So this means this guy has a total of 10 fights over Jake. 10 fights is a lot of experience. So this guy has 10 fights over me. He has the age over me. He has the experience over him, probably the IQ. He has everything over him, but he's been inactive. Jake Paul, the one thing he has over this guy is he's been active. So Jake has put himself in a position where he's going to be fighting a guy with more experience, like the Andre August, who has accolades like this, who's proven to be good, like Andre August, who has 17-2, a very positive record, which Andre August did, but I'm pretty sure Andre August was like 10-2. This guy's 17-2, so this guy's more experienced than Andre August, and he has the Golden Gloves, the fucking HBO heavyweight, and he's a former junior Olympian. He's got all that, but the inactivity is where Jake thrives, and he's also been knocked out once. Now I'm going to roll the clip, and I know for a fact as soon as Jake saw this clip, he thought that's the guy I want, because Jake saw something here. I'm going to roll the clip right now. So as you can see in that clip, Mr. Rhino got knocked out very clean. And that's where Jake sees it. Because what is Jake's biggest pro in his boxing career? The right hand. That's what Jake wants. That's what Jake wants. Jake wants to get in there and he wants to knock another guy out. He did it for Andre August. and he's probably going to do it with this guy. To be perfectly honest, I don't know much about this guy, but he's probably going to do it with this guy because if that guy knocked out this guy, I think Jake has the power to knock out this guy clean, and that is probably what's going to happen. So I want to know y'all's opinions. I actually think it's a smart idea. I don't have an issue with Jake doing this because, like I said, there's going to be people that's going to be unhappy. There's going to be people that's complaining. No matter what Jake does, people are going to hate on it. I'm giving him his respect. I don't think this is pay per view either. It shouldn't be pay per view. Or no, technically it is because Amanda Serrano is the main event. Actually, that's one thing. Yes, it's pay per view, but he's not even charging you pay per view for him. Essentially, he's charging you pay per view for the Amanda Serrano fight, which is a big fight. So he's also taking co-main event on his own card because it's in Puerto Rico, which is obviously he's living in right now, but Amanda Serrano's from. So he decided to give up the main event spot for that because he knew this wasn't a main event pay-per-view buy, and he wanted to give a big spot to Amanda Serrano. So I actually think that's very good. So essentially we're not paying pay-per-view to see him. We're paying a pay-per-view to see Amanda Serrano, and he just so happens to be the co-main event. But I like the overall strategic tactic from Jake and his team. They're picking a guy, like I said, who has all these things that whenever they beat him, people are going to make up the excuse. People make up the excuse for Andre August. They turn around and said, oh, but Jake knocked him out. He didn't properly hit him, all this and that. But you know what I mean? I think nerves got to Andre August personally, and that's what made it not competitive at all. But at the same time, even people turn around and saying, oh, these guys aren't that good. These are the type of people Jake should be fighting. Because if Jake goes and fights a YouTuber, there's going to be complaints unless it's KSI. If he goes and fights another MMA guy, there's going to be complaints because he's not a boxer. There's always going to be complaints. So if Jake fights a pro boxer, there's complaints that no one knows who he is. But he's not going to fight someone like Canelo because Canelo's world champion. You know what I mean? So Jake's going to fight people low level who your favorite boxer and my favorite boxer would have fought at this time in their career to build up the record. Fidel Riley has fought some decent boxers, but he's fought people that he's been levels above, and the reason for that is he gets in there. You get in there with the people at the bottom, the journeyman, and you beat them to prove that you're better than a journeyman. You're not here to be a journeyman. You're here to be above that, and then you progressively get better. So Jake has decided, I've done the YouTube, I've done the MMA, now I'm going to do this. You don't need to know his name. All you need to do is know his accolades, but he's also playing strategically because, like I said, he's not picking active fighters. He's picking ones. Like this guy's semi-retired, 2 fights, 6 years. Yes, that gives a major advantage to Jake because ring rust is a big thing. But this guy has everything else over Jake. So even though people turn around and say this guy is semi-retired, hasn't fought in ages, you obviously have way better chance of this. Jake still can turn around and say he was Golden Gloves champion, he was HBO light heavyweight champion, and he was a former junior Olympian. So realistically, yes, I was more active than him, but he had everything else, so I still beat him. So it still gives Jake that little bit of room to talk. And I think it's smart. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I like seeing Jake fight the big names. I like all the hype for it. But I'm liking what Jake's doing. He's getting in there with people, and you never know this. I've never watched this guy box. This guy's 17-2. Even if this guy fought 19 journeymen, that means he's better than 17 of those journeymen, which means he's still not at the bottom of the barrel. So he must be somewhat good. So Jake isn't just picking people who are 0-24, but Jake is picking people who are 17-2, which is better. He picked Andre August, now he's picking him. So yes, we don't know his name, we don't really know who he is, but he's got a decent record, he's got decent accolades, and Jake has played his part right, that he's going to get in there. He's probably going to knock this guy out, is my prediction for now. And then he's going to get another win under his belt. Another way of saying I beat a pro boxer, and then maybe he goes back to Tommy Fury. I don't know, but I'm liking what Jake's doing right now. It's not all about the highlights. It's not all about the big pay-per-view buys and the numbers. Sometimes it's about getting in there and just beating someone that no one really knows, but has a good record to further your career. Obviously, Jake said his goal is to be a world champion. I don't think Jake's going to be a world champion. I think a lot of us don't think Jake's going to be a world champion, but I respect the fact he has that goal and he's going after it, and he's getting in the ring with people who don't have a big name and doing that, because then he's not selling us pay-per-views. He's saying you can tune in if you want to. This isn't about the pay-per-view buys. This is just me proving that I can beat a pro boxer, and I respect that. So I think Jake's move is very smart. I'm liking the way he's going. Obviously, I'd like him to fight bigger names again soon. But for now, I don't mind this. I think it's a good choice of career for Jake Paul right now. He's done the pay-per-views, and now he's doing this. I think it's smart. But I want you all to let me know down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think Jake should be fighting other people? Do you want him to go back to fighting the MMA guys? Do you want him... He can't really fight YouTubers like KSI. We all want to see that fight. But do you want him going back going back to fight MMA guys, or would you rather him on this path, or do you like a little bit of a mix? Let me know in the comments down below all your opinions of that. As always, I got more videos coming. Don't worry. I'm behind on all this, so I'm recording the shit out of them. I'm spamming them out, and then we gonna get to the current shit. But as always, hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all are thinking positive. Hope y'all have an amazing day. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next one. So, peace.